kids didn't want to be there. 17, 18, 19 years old, they wanted to be shooting 22s at rabbits, not M1s at other young men. They wanted to be throwing softballs, not hand grenades. But there was an evil force loose in the world, and it fell to them to have to deal with it, because when the challenge came, that the society said to them, you got to go out there and fight. And they did.
It's the 11th month on the 11th day in the 11th hour. So today is a day where we honor the sacrifice made by veterans, honor their service to our country. These people were our mothers, our fathers, our aunts, uncles, our brothers and sisters. They're Americans of every creed, nationality, religion, that all served and fought to protect this way of life, to give us the ability to do what we're doing here today by having a TV show on cable access. So we thank them and we honor them, and today is about them. So Veterans Day, Project Placebo, stay with us. So today I'm down here to honor our veterans, those that have served and those that are serving. This is a deeply personal subject matter for me because I am a vet myself. I went into the service, joined the Navy, and within 2 months I found myself in Chicago, Illinois in the middle of winter on a Navy boot camp called Great Lakes. There was no television, there was no newspaper, there was no internet. The only way that we knew what was going on was through finding out through word of mouth from other recruits. So one day that I remember in particular, we were walking through the middle of base and they started playing a Phil Collins song. And no one knew why, because we had never heard music on the base before through the base PA system. We go back to our barracks, we're sitting down, some guy walks in and he has a sad, really depressed look on his face, and he said, I just heard that Phil Collins died today.
There's a giant cue cards on the wall. Oh, this is mine. I had to throw in some, I just heard Phil Collins die last night. That, to be honest with you, that really shocked me a lot that Phil Collins died. That's sad.
You meet a lot of guys from all over the United States and from Mexico, because we had a gentleman, a Marine that was from Mexico. And it just, the way they got us all together to work as one unit, and the brotherhood of being a Marine.
We were out at 5 o'clock in the morning in a reveille, and I had my rifle. My hands were so cold, I dropped the rifle, which is a sin. And this sergeant walked up and told me to pick the rifle up, and make a long story short, he told me to come check with him at the end of the day. So he chewed me out for dropping the rifle. That made no difference if my hands were frozen or not.
We weren't supposed to smoke cigarettes, right, in the boot camp. And one of our friends basically violated that, and he had to stand in the garbage can, and the captain put 5 cigarettes in his mouth at one time and said, light them all up. And so after that, I think there was no violation of the smoking rule after that.
They sent me to the fleet, and I was assigned to the aircraft carrier USS Independence in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So here I am thinking I'm going to the fleet, I'm going to sail, I'm going to be a sailor, but when I get there, the ship's on cement blocks. What would you consider your primary duty station? What would you call the spot where you spent most of your time?
Aboard aircraft carriers.
Which carrier were you on?
The Ranger, Kitty Hawk, Enterprise, and sometime on the Ticonderoga.
So you were career?
Almost. I could have retired, but I spent 8 years in the Navy.
Most of the time I was in Da Nang and Hue, northern, up north of Vietnam. I was there for 16 months throughout, like I said, all of to Da Nang, Hue, Phu Bai, DMZ. So it was all on the field.
We were the first carrier actually to be in the Gulf in over 15 years. It was an interesting time. The media pool, which is CBS, NBC, Fox, all the affiliates, the media pool was actually stationed on our ship because we were the closest to the action. So we had, at one point, we had Dan Rather on our ship doing news reports. So it was very, very surreal to know that the entire world was watching us, that Dan Rather is doing news reports from 10 feet away. Then we'd go down and watch the newscast later that night.
This is the CBS Evening News. Dan Rather reporting tonight from aboard the carrier USS Independence, just outside the Straits of Hormuz. We'll tell you in a moment exactly what's happening on this carrier, which is one of the hubs of President Bush's strategy in and around the Persian Gulf. First, let's tick off some of the developments of the last 24 to 48 hours.
I'm not in favor of war, but the thing is we need to have people that are going to be able to give up their lives so that we can be able to go out and go to church, do the things that other people in other countries don't have that right.
In Vietnam, I always considered it a political war. Although I was proud to be there, I was doing my part, but I thought it was politics.
As a Marine, I just went there. It was, I had no problems of going to Vietnam.
It gives an opportunity for a young person to mature quickly, get some regiment in their life, get some order in their life, respect for others, and there's nothing better than representing your country.
You better have an open mind and understand that, you know, you may not come back.
My recommendation for those who are interested in going, it's been 18 years since I've been out, and I always say the same things to people when they ask me, should I go into the service? And this is the most honest thing I could say. It was the best thing that I ever did, but I would never do it again. Well, thank you for taking time with us. Thank you for your service to your country, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
What you see behind me is a memorial to all those soldiers, both men and women, that have died serving overseas since 9/11. This started out as an art project / memorial for those that had passed, and what started out as a dozen wooden crosses has now turned into nearly 5,000 crosses. The actual number is 4824, which is 4,824 military people have lost their lives since 9/11. Thank you for tuning in to Project Placebo. It's been a very, very touching show for me, very interesting to talk to my fellow vets, and thank you for watching.